If you're nervous about getting your new bathroom layout wrong, the next few minutes could save you a lot of money and stress. First, I'm going to show you the layout mistakes that are easy to miss but very expensive to live with, so you can avoid them at all costs. Then I'll show you some clever swaps that interior designers lean on when we're planning small or tricky spaces to help you if you've got an awkward space or enhance a layout that you're almost there with. Right, let's start by looking at the layout mistakes you need to avoid. Mistake number 1 is positioning the loo beside the head of the bath. Okay, I'm sorry to go here, but nobody wants to be having a nice relaxing soak in the bath directly next to the waft of pee from the toilet next to you. I mean, did you see that test that they did a few years back with UV light? It's so disgusting. Yeah. So a really straightforward solution is to pop your sink between the loo and the bath, or fit a double-ended bath with central taps so you can actually choose which side you want to soak on. Unwanted waft of urine averted. Mistake number 2 is positioning the loo in full view. Remember, bathroom doors tend to stay open when not in use. That means if your bathroom is just off the landing, you might be walking up the stairs and all you can see is the loo. Or if it's an ensuite, we don't want you lying in bed and all you can see is the loo in full view. So first things first, try to place your throne around a wall or behind a door so it's a little easier on the eye. Mistake number 3 is wasted space inside your walls. Essentially, if you have any stud walls in the room or they're being built for you, no matter how tall or short they are, there's space inside that wall that can and should be factored into your design. They're so versatile. So you can cut into it, create space for shelving, for shower niches, bath niches, recessed mirrors, lighting, storage, you name it. There's so many ways. So yeah, think about how they can give you more than just a wall to hide pipework. And on that note, in a moment, we're going to chat about how actually adding walls sometimes gives you more usable space, not less. Mistake number 4 is positioning your shower niche in the wrong place. Shower niches are those lovely little cutouts and tiled shelving areas inside your shower cubicle, used for storing bottles. And we automatically assume we should just pop that niche underneath the shower head. But remember, pipes will run down the centre of your wall directly beneath your shower head, so unless you have a deep wall and enough space in front of your pipes for that shower niche, it's best to plan for a niche on a wall adjacent or opposite. Saying that, I mean, sometimes it can work and context matters a lot. Like in our student Anna's bathroom, she worked around it with 2 separate niches either side of the pipes. But then other times it can be off-centre, take on water and leak. So yeah, sit them on an adjacent wall. By the way, if you're finding this video useful, hit like and subscribe. I've got loads of other videos for you to help you with colour advice and where to spend and save on your bathroom finishes. Next is a mistake that I personally hate when I go to hotels or Airbnbs, and tell me if this annoys you as well. It's having nowhere to put anything by your sink. Not even a tiny area to just balance your makeup bag for 5 seconds while you pluck your eyebrows. One simple solution is to skip those countertop basins, as lovely as they are, and go for an undermount sink instead. Or of course, mount a shelf beneath your mirror. Obviously, the ideal scenario is tons of worktop space that you can just put all your makeup on, but I'll save that for my living in a mansion era. Mistake number 6 is fitting a radiator that you can't actually use as a towel rail. Instead of a standard radiator, swap it out for a towel radiator and you can actually warm your towels and get them all fluffy and toasty. And then there's the mirror that hits you in the face mistake. Don't install a deep mirror cabinet over a shallow sink, because you'll spend your life banging your head against it every time you brush your teeth. Instead, make sure you're fitting cabinets above standard depth sinks. They just aren't ergonomic above a sink that's shallower. Another big piece of advice if you're planning a bathroom layout for the first time or the second time is to understand all the standard common dimensions that are available to you. Because when you know like standard bath or shower size options, it actually becomes like a palette that you can pull from that enables you to plan your layout faster with much more confidence. My students are using my bathroom layout cheat sheets that you can download for free below if you need a quick reference guide, or scan this QR code on screen now to get a copy. One more mistake to avoid, and then we'll chat about some of the clever layout swaps that you can consider if you're finding your space particularly hard to plan. It's the bathroom that you can't actually fit a shower in. So I need to explain this one because the other day I was on this Facebook group and a woman posted photos of her bathroom being like, "Hi guys, this is the bathroom that I inherited when we moved in. Help me, I don't know where to put my shower." And the room was basically like a sloped ceiling on all 4 sides of the room with just a bath on one side. Like the only normal head height was the door going in. And I was like, oh my God, like I would not have bought that house with a bathroom like that. And then I scrolled into the comments and some guy was like, "I think you're gonna struggle, mate." Moral of the story is check your head height measurements. If you've got sloped ceilings, a change of ceiling height or low ceilings all over, keep checking. Make sure you can fit a shower, including the step up for your shower tray or bath, and any drainage needed beneath. Right, now let's look at some clever layout swaps if you're finding your layout completely impossible to work out. Because interior designers will lean on these swaps when we're scratching our heads ourselves trying to fit things in. Hopefully one or two of these will help you with an awkward layout or enhance a layout that you're almost there with. For this section, I want to help you think like a designer, because we don't just look at the bathroom as 4 walls and try to squeeze things in. We're constantly asking ourselves, should this even be the shape of the room? So as an example, sometimes adding a small wall, even a half wall, can actually unlock better head height for a shower, or give you a much cleaner way to finish a bath or vanity end. So as you're watching these next ideas, keep asking yourself, where could I add a stud wall? Because bathrooms are one of the only rooms where changing the shape slightly can actually completely change what's possible. Idea 1 is to swap your separate loo and vanity for an all-in-one unit. We do this when clients have small bathrooms, when they want as much storage as possible, or if the space will benefit from a streamlined aesthetic. Idea 2 is to swap a standard shower arm for a ceiling mounted shower head. This won't be for all of you watching, but we pull this trick out the bag when client spaces have lower head height than we'd like and we're trying to squeeze a shower into a shorter space. Obviously talk to your fitter to make sure that there's deep enough void in the ceiling above for pipes to run. Idea number 3 is swap a wall hung toilet for a back to wall toilet. Now I need to explain this one quickly because my preference is usually wall hung toilets with a concealed system behind it, just because they're easier to mop and you won't get any grout or silicone staining. But I would suggest a back to wall toilet if the toilet that's being fitted is on a stud wall. So back to wall toilets sit directly on the floor, so the weight is supported through the floor, and a wall hung toilet requires more reinforcement on the stud wall itself. It's still doable, it's just it'll cost you more in labour for not much extra gain. Another idea we lean on is swapping a large rectangle shower tray for a quadrant tray that's still as spacious in size. Quadrant trays can come with a curved end, so we'll propose this, or a pentagon shower tray when the floor space is much smaller. Because generally, as long as your shower is a minimum of 900mm by 900mm going round, you'll still get plenty of showering space around you. And often rectangle trays actually waste space on one end. You're not actually using it while showering. It's more for splash control. If your renovation starts pretty soon, download the bathroom layout cheat sheets now and it'll help you map out all of your options confidently. And watch this video next. I'll explain how to project manage your renovation and avoid mistakes when work starts. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!